Yo, what's going on, guys? This is the build that I'll be using for today's video. And in the start of the video, these are older clips that I had, but I just decided to put them in. The build was a little bit different. This was before I started to understand the water duck. But I will be going over the video, and as you'll be able to see as the video goes on, I kind of start to understand how the duck should be played. So yeah, I'm just going to go over the build and then the gameplay at the end. So for my subspecies, I use the +5 damage while wet. It's just really good because I'm a water duck. I'm going to explain why I think the water duck is better than the land duck. To start off, if you want to be a land duck, well, you may as well just play a Tyranotitan, which is just all around, I think, better than a land duck. So that's why automatically I just don't play a land duck, and I play the water duck. Also, the water duck is just stronger than the land duck if you were to fight each other. Say you were wet and the land duck isn't, you still would be able to beat them because of that 5% damage while you're wet. And then your other options for the subspecies are 25% venom and bleed healing while dry, which is it's alright, good for a land duck, but yeah. And then 10% health recovery, so yeah. Moving on to the actual abilities themselves, first I'm going to start with the passive, and it's the head slot. It's called Ring Out. Instantly make yourself dry, which for the water duck it's pretty useless because you always want to be wet. Really good for the land duck, but yeah. And then moving on to the sense that I use the Drenched Blows sense. It deals 20% increased damage to wet targets. So I'm going to explain why this is really good. Obviously 20% is a lot, but it says wet targets, right? So how would you get someone wet? For example, in water PvP, everyone's going to be wet. If it's raining, people are going to be wet, maybe if they even went through a river. Another thing is the backhand ability, is how you'd get somebody wet. So when you use backhand and within 25 meters, you can get them wet, and that way you can give yourself that 20% increased damage. And then water spout as well, but I don't really use that one. Now the other senses you have is light feathers, 25% reduced sprint and stamina cost while dry. That's for land duck again, which honestly seems pretty good, but yeah, it's just the Tyranotitan's just better, so yeah. And then nictitating membrane, see clearer underwater during fog and during rainstorms, and it also passively tracks the distance to the nearest fish within 100 meters, which is pretty useless. It's very PvE. And now the front limb attacks, so you can have two of these, and I use backhand because backhand is it does knockback, so it's really good for knocking people off of cliffs and stuff like that. Not only that, it splashes targets in front of you within 25 meters, making them wet, and that helps you activate your sense. So yeah, not only that, it does more damage underwater than the claw attack would, and hemorrhage claw or even the claw frenzy. All of those do less damage underwater compared to the backhand. So yeah, it just does the most damage out of those. And then the other one is Riptide, a claw attack that applies bleed. Base damage is increased by 50% more damage if you are wet, and additional up to 50% if the target is wet. And then this attack kills them faster while you are wet. So this does a lot of damage, like a lot of damage. It's really good. And in the start of the video, I don't do it well, but what you want to do is use that and then probably dash away with your dodge, and then just keep chaining that, just keep getting that every time. But yeah, you kind of see as the video goes on, I start to do that. Anyway, your other options are Hemorrhage Claw, which a claw attack that deals low damage and low bleed upon striking a target. It applies 1 stack of hemorrhage that lowers bleed heal of the target by 20% and increases bleed damage for 2 minutes, and it stacks up to 2 times. Which it's really good for bleeding people out, but it just doesn't have that brute damage that you need to stay in a fight. Also, it's not like against smaller stuff or really anything faster than a duck, which is actually a lot of things, they can just get away and get that bleed off of them, so it's not that good. So yeah. Your other option is Claw Frenzy, a charge forward, attacking with multiple swings, deals more damage if the target is dry. This attack consumes 50% less stamina if you are dry, and you are immune to knockback for the duration of the charge, only usable on land. So this just doesn't work for the water duck, obviously. This is definitely an attack you want to have on land, but yeah, it does pretty good damage, but yeah, not for the water. And then your last one is Claw Attack, a claw attack that applies bleed. This attack's base damage is increased by 50% while you are dry, plus an additional 50 if the target is also dry. And so this one is really good for land. The reason I don't use this one is because it just does less damage in the water than the backhand. The bleed is really nice. You can actually stack a lot of bleed on someone. But yeah, that's about it. Yeah. Also, the cooldown on claw attack is really good. Same as the backhand, it's like instant pretty much. But the Riptide and Claw Frenzy have like 9 seconds of a cooldown, and it can be like 18 seconds if you, for example, for Riptide, if you're not wet. So yeah, just keep that in mind. And now for my metabolism, I use herbivore, and you can just eat berries. It's just because I'm pretty lazy and I don't want to go out catching fish. It's not so bad on, not only that, I'm pretty sure your water might drain a little bit faster with Fisher on. And for example, on Gondola it can be really annoying because you don't always have fresh water. On Pandora it's different. So yeah. Yeah, I'm just a bit lazy with that stuff, just because the duck is so slow on land and stuff like that, and traveling on the duck can be pretty annoying when you're outside of the water. But yeah, Fisher is really good because there's fish, especially on Gondola, that give you 5% armor, 5% movement speed, which is really good. But on Pandora you don't have that. The only two ones you have is 20% health, health recovery, bleed heal, and poison heal. And then you have 20% stam recovery, which is really good. So Fisher is really good. I just prefer the other one because I just know where all the berry spawns are, and I just don't feel like catching fish the whole time. So yeah, but that's up to you, that one. Depends on what you want. Honestly, I think Fisher's really good, and you could honestly change it. Moving on to the hide, I use waterlogged. Gain 20% increased swimming speed and dry out much slower while you're on land. Additionally, you will now drain the stamina of creatures latched or clamped onto you by up to 100% based on your wetness amount, and become heavier when wet. So yeah, this you just become stronger pretty much. And stuff like the raptors have a hard time just staying on you, and then same as the little dolphins on Gondola. So yeah, it's really good. And then parched scales is your other option, and this is for land. Increase stam recovery by 25% and dry faster on land. Sprint faster the drier you are on land. So that's for the water duck again, but if it rains, then you're pretty much useless. So yeah. That's why I don't run land duck. Now moving on to the leg slot, this might be a surprise, but I use Burley. Increases stam regeneration by 20% and fracture healing by 20%. I use this because stam recovery, it doesn't say dry or wet, it's just you always just have stam recovery. I'm pretty sure, and it's just good for traveling. Yeah. And then webbed feet is 15% reduced fast swimming stamina drain, which is good, but I just prefer to have that extra stam recovery rather than stamina drain while swimming. So that way I'm not completely useless on land. That way I can still catch up to things. But yeah, for example, like a Rex or another duck. And then your last option is braced legs. While dry, ignore uphill movement. Decrease and increases speed when moving downhill, and take reduced falling damage. So yeah, that one's pretty good for land. But yeah, I like to use Willy for even water stuff. Moving on to the tail slot, I use the water dodge. Activate to quickly dodge while swimming or diving. The direction of the dodge is based upon your movement. So this is really good. You combo this with your Riptide and just get hits and then get in and out the whole time. Really good for covering distance, getting away, and just movement. Yeah, I think it's the best thing that you could use here. Your other option is tail attack, causes knockback and does like 0 damage pretty much. Yeah, just not that good. I would much rather be able to gain distance rather than knock someone back. So yeah, and then your last option is Duke. Rapidly turn to face behind you and change your direction. This is for land, which if you're a land duck, this is what I would definitely use. So yeah. And for the voice slot, I use Murder Goose. Removes all knockback from your attacks, but increases your attack damage by 50% for 30 seconds. This ability can be used if deafened. So you can just do plenty of damage. The only downside is if you're fighting near a cliff and you need to knock someone off, you won't have that ability, or even knock someone into the water. With your backhand, you just can't. So yeah. And then your other option is Hiss, which I think is also really good. I'm kind of not sure which one I want to stick with between Hiss and Murder Goose, just because Hiss reduces all incoming damage by 15% for 60 seconds. Now, the reason this is so good, even though it's only 15%, it's double the time that Murder Goose has. So say, I see a lot of other ducks running Murder Goose, so if you can just avoid them for that 30 seconds, and then fight them while you still have Hiss, because you have double the time that they have, you'll gain a big advantage, and it just lasts longer. So yeah, in a longer fight, I think Hiss can be a little bit better. Your other option is Goose Honk, increases knockback for your attacks for 60 seconds. This is really good for just throwing people into the water. Even though I think that the backhand's knockback is still really good, Goose Honk makes it just crazy. But yeah, I think Hiss and Murder Goose are the two best ones. It's kind of up to you what you want to run, but I run Murder Goose for the now. I might change it in the future. And then your last option is Water Spout. Spray water in an area all around you, draining your thirst by 15% and making yourself and all enemies nearby wet. Cannot be used underwater. This ability can be used if deafened. So Water Spout's okay. The only thing about it is backhand already kind of covers that for you. In a way, it's obviously not as how would I say, not, it's a little bit different. It's because if you're on land, then backhand's not gonna get someone wet, whereas Water Spout is. So yeah, so it's just more versatile than backhand, obviously. But yeah, I just don't think that is worth 50% damage for 30 seconds, or even 15% armor for a whole minute. So yeah, that's why I think Hiss and Goose are the two best ones you can use. But now I'm gonna go over the gameplay and the thought process of things. So yeah, and here I died to that Spino out there. The Spino and duck actually killed the duck. Also going back to the gondola one where I was fighting Spino and Sarko with me and my friend, that Spino just got away, and also the Sarko ended up bleeding out. We found him and he just bled out. And then the duck that was back there that I threw off the cliff was with those guys. They were mixed packing. So yeah, anyway, here after I died, I went to the Waystone to try and get my friend, and the Suko's around, and I literally had 0 money because I spent it on Duke just to have all the abilities. I like to have everything just in case an update comes out or some changes are made. And yeah, Anyway, I was trying to keep this guy in the water because there's no way I can catch him on land. He's a lot faster. I was kind of surprised that he would come back and trying to fight me here. Because in the water, I'm way faster than the Suko, stronger. So yeah, there's nothing you can do. I'm just trying to stay in front of this guy. I don't want to let him tail ride me because that would just be very bad. So yeah, but you can see I'm constantly just knocking him back and he keeps missing his claw barrages and riptides and stuff. And just, yeah, he just can't get it going. It's really hard, honestly, to 1v1 a duck on the Suko. Yeah, that was pretty much, it's pretty much nothing you can do unless someone's just really bad. Yeah. Now I'm here. I made my way back to Talon's Point. And my friend was running around on land and he kind of wasted his stamina a little bit. Because the server just didn't have a lot of time left, so we didn't expect anyone. But I end up finding a duck in a circle. And this is the same duck from earlier that I was fighting. I went for the circle first because I thought to myself that this duck is a land duck. So he can get away at any point. I'm not going to catch a land duck as a water duck. Whereas the circle has no escape. The circle can only get into the water. And he just can't really get on land because then we'll just kill him. It'll be a free kill. And this guy just tries to run away the whole time, but we actually, the whole point here now is just outstam him and run him down. And I end up cutting some of the footage because I don't really want to make you guys just watch me chase this guy around for 5 minutes. So yeah, so just trying to run him out of stamina, and you know, he hits me with a charge bite and I hit him with a riptide. Here's the thing, riptide versus charge bite, I just end up out tanking the circle because the circle is very weak. So hit for hit, the duck will win that. So yeah, you don't want to trade a as a circle. You don't want to get hit by a riptide and give a charge bite away because you will end up dying. Maybe unless you use ambush, maybe that could work. But yeah, that would consist of you not getting hit for 30 seconds or being even out of combat. But yeah, also riptide puts on bleed, so it just keeps you in combat as well. And I'm just trying to put damage onto this guy, and he's just getting low on stam. Also, the oxygen on the duck is actually pretty bad. That's the only one downside of the water duck, is your oxygen. But yeah, and you can see this guy goes on land because he literally doesn't know what to do. He's out of stamina and he's hoping that the duck's gonna save him. And I didn't want to backhand this guy. I just didn't want to let him get distance. I waited for my friend to hit him. Anyway, this duck was fighting an Albert and he somehow got put one hit, and I just finished him off here and took him out. And well, there was no point of us fighting that Albert, as he was just gonna get away unless I hit him into the water. Anyway, here there was these megs fighting these this metri, and I hit a riptide on this guy. I thought I was gonna one tap him. Maybe the hitbox was a little bit buggy, but yeah. Anyway, I zoomed my camera in for fighting megs because it's it can be easier to track them, in my opinion. I like to have my camera zoomed in a little bit more. But yeah, and I see another meg. I didn't know that this guy wasn't full adult. You know, it's kind of difficult to tell from a certain distance, and I seen that he rested, so I instantly dash out and hit him with the riptide and just one tap him. So yeah, just gotta watch where you rest. And you can see the other megs start coming about, and I'm gonna try and do the same thing, but I missed just barely on this green meg. So yeah, they end up getting away. And I'm surprised one of this backhand here, or it was the one before that, didn't really land. I was very close. But yeah, no point in me going around and chasing these guys as they're just gonna get away on land. Yeah, no point in wasting my stamina. My friend here was getting comboed a little bit, and these megs didn't realise that I was here, and I put this guy one hit. He was so close. I was trying to use my dash here, but it kind of cancelled out. I'm guessing it was because of the land. So yeah, that was very unfortunate. If I just popped it a little bit sooner, I would have honestly got the guy. And yeah. And here, once again, I'm not going to go out chasing people on land, especially Megs, as a duck. So I go back to the water, and now I'm just trying to get the jump on someone, just the same thing as earlier. Dash towards them, maybe find someone resting. And this Meg rests. I don't know what these guys have with resting right in front of the water when they're fighting ducks. And here I try and backhand this Metri off, and it doesn't work. And for some reason this Metri just gets close to the water and I knock him in. And at this point there's nothing you can do. I can just keep knocking this guy so far into the ocean to where it doesn't matter. So yeah, I'm with one more Riptide and he just dies. And right after this, we look back and the whole squad pulls up, and it's 2 Spinos, a Suko and a Sako. Now my friend's a little bit not as experienced as me in the underwater things, so he there's a few things he still has to learn. But yeah, and he's also just half health from fighting those Megs. And you can see how fast we put that Spino low already. And I did get hit by that charge, which is really annoying. But I was trying to focus the Spino that was already low, but it's really hard because this guy was on me the whole time, the black Spino. And they've just got so many things, and even though water PvP takes the most skill, it can still be very difficult to win such a fight where it's just way outnumbered. I mean, yeah. And I hit this guy right into my teammate and he just turns away. That should have been a kill, but yeah. Just little mistakes. And I'm trying to get this guy. I honestly thought this backhand here would finish him off, and it just didn't. It just created more distance for that guy. And at this point I know that I need to take care of this black Spino. And yeah, I should be using my dash a little bit more and baiting my Riptide, but I was trying to get some backhands in. Yeah, I could have played it a little bit better than this. But my friend dies. He did end up killing another Meg before he died, at least, in one of the circles. Pretty sure it was a baby, but still. Yeah. And this guy's just constantly on me. One thing is that the Spino is a little bit faster than the duck. If it's a full water Spino, at least, it's faster. So I can't get away from this guy. I can only dodge. And that claw just barely hit me.